Hello, my friends. So sold some of the puts I had for the 26th that expired on the 26th. 471 puts, made a good profit there. And based on the reading for today, if you're following along on tarotfortraders.com, you go to the forecast page blog, and you go to the date for this page, or the page for this date, and you'll be able to follow along with me. So I sold some of my puts. I'm holding some of my puts. I also am holding calls. So my puts expire on the 1st of December. My calls expire on the 29th. And basically, right now what I see happening is we've got a bearish day, obviously. There should be some push to the upside here. We are bouncing out of a oversold range on the RSI. If you're looking at a 5-minute chart, same thing kind of goes if you look at a 10-minute chart. It's an interesting dynamic, though, because if you look at a 1-minute chart, we haven't quite touched bottom yet on the RSI. So we were oversold. And then in theory with RSI, with relative strength index, really reliable in my opinion. And the theory is that it'll be overbought and then oversold before it becomes overbought again. So it goes kind of like back and forth. And it helps to signal good opportunities. So there's some contradiction here, because the 1-minute chart, the last over was overbought, whereas on the 5 and the 10-minute chart, the last over, if you will, was oversold. So what I'm thinking is we're going to bounce around a little bit here. We should have some pushback, but in the grand scheme of things, definitely bearish. When I look at the overview, it looks like we possibly have a high from where we close. There's the fortune card, so it could be really interesting. Like, it could be really high. The fortune card, in a lot of cases, at the beginning of the day, it indicates like a new high or a new local high. And there's a little bit of push. There's actually some good push to the upside early in the day on Monday, but grand scheme of things, we're looking at a major low. And if you look into December, we've got a major low on the first day of December. So I'm positioning myself. When I see the RSI oversold on the 1-minute chart, I'll buy some calls. Just a little bit of calls to catch that upside in the morning on Monday. But I'm holding on to my puts that expire on the 1st of December. And I sold some of my puts, 471s. I've got 470s, 465s. And I'll probably roll some of those 465s today towards the end of the day. But look out for that pushback, guys, because we're now we're at 1027, right smack in the middle of the night of discs, which in a lot of cases it will indicate one of two things or both. Either it signifies that there's an economic leader highlighted at that time, so like a Fed chair or the president talking about economics specifically, something like that, or more likely it's indication of a notable support level from which we move higher. And it looks like that's what we've got right around the 1020 mark. Looks like we created some support possibly, and now we're pushing higher. But I do have, remember guys, it's a half day, and I do have some low correlators. The last 2 cards of the day are low correlators. And that ruined. These ruins are like, I added these to my readings, guys. The ruins are like, wow. Like, I can get to the minute sometimes with these things in combination with the tarot. Yeah, so I think we'll have some push to the upside. We have 2 high correlations for the following day, for Monday. So I'm going to buy some more puts. That's the plan, is to buy some more puts that expire further out than December 1st, maybe like the end of that week. or the following week. But I'm looking to sell those on Monday. And then looking into December, guys, get on the mailing list for the 1 month overviews. It's free. Just subscribe to our mailing list, our newsletter, and you'll get that every month, 1 week ahead of the actual month that it's predicting. So you get it ahead of time. You can get an overview. If you were on the list and you got the December one yesterday, you'll see that December is looking ugly. If you go check out some of these financial astrologers, they'll tell you the same thing. It's a really ugly thing. The economy is going to go down the drain. I hope people have been listening to me when I'm recommending silver. I know some people personally that have, and they're very happy that they did. Bought it at like 14, the last time around $14 an ounce. So right now, that decline, that trough in the silver is really like, that's a fake out. Like, hey, everything's fine. You got to remember, the powers that be want to stay the powers that be. That's just the way of the world. You know, for the most part, that's how everybody is. You have to take that into consideration. And with that said, I'd say probably Bitcoin next year it's probably the most bullish reading I've ever seen in my life. I've been doing this for a long time, guys. Next year, Bitcoin probably hits like 150 to 250, somewhere in there. And I'm thinking 85. Well, I was thinking roughly 80 to 85 this year. I mean, we still got a month, and we've definitely gotten close. But in any case, so those two things to prepare for the economy's collapse, inevitable collapse. You want to own silver. You want to own Bitcoin. Don't mess with those silly little altcoins. Like, most of those are not going to be worth anything, right? You got to get the one that's already established, that people are using like a new hedge, a global hedge, and that's Bitcoin. I'd say Ethereum's also relatively good. And if you want to go speculative, it's Dogecoin. Those are the only three that I've ever sensed were worthy. And Dogecoin's like a total speculation. Yeah, I sense we move higher, either over the weekend or from a low in the morning on Monday. But that fortune card really says to me we're probably going to be higher. We push higher, but then there's selling off of the overbought range on the RSI around 10 o'clock on that day, and it's a definite bearish day. We break down through multiple support levels. So yeah, I mean, I'm getting ready to buy some puts. So we're coming up on 11 o'clock. It's a bearish day, which means that night of discs is probably not all that prominent. Let's see what I'm going to get, guys. So based on the chart, looking at a year-to-date chart, we bounced off of a minor support here today. Wow. Went to 458. So yeah, we bounced right off of the support here on a year-to-date chart, but there's a further one down, which I feel we're probably going to hit. It's the 453. 453 on the SPY. So I think probably anything around, I'm thinking that anything around 465 is going to be really safe, and we might pop higher on Monday, like I said, but that'll be temporary. And if I am purchasing one out here, I'm purchasing one for December 21st, so I'm just going to sit on it. So 465. 463 or 464 I'm going to get. 464 put that expires on what is it, December 17th? December 17th. And that's going to be, I'm going to put it in for 11/11 and see what happens. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? Right away it was filled. See that, like the 1 minute chart falling all the way into oversold territory was a lot less likely, because we have on the 5 minute and the 10 minute chart, we had already been overbought, but we hadn't been oversold. Excuse me, we've already been oversold and not overbought. So there's more pressure moving higher than there is moving lower at that moment. Well, it's always important to look at more than one time frame chart, because it gives you perspective. You got to understand everybody's trading on a different thing. So, they all kind of intermingle with each other, intermesh. It's good. It's important to see what other people are looking at as well. I'm thinking we will probably should turn around relatively soon. We might go up to 462-ish, but I'm not feeling. Maybe we go up. I mean, we're bouncing up against the resistance that was created in the pre-market. So it's possible we turn around here. You could also hit the 462 mark, but I'm thinking we probably don't. Maybe, but that's about it. And then we're going to go south. The rest of the day is really pretty much south. There's some news that comes out in the last hour that may very well give us that spike in the morning. But again, Monday is going to be a bearish day, a strong bearish day. All right, maybe I'm going to I'll be back in a bit, guys.